Bankai and Bleach go together like bread and butter. A character's respective Bankai represents their character growth, as well as the journey that the Shinigami goes on leading up to the incredible cool reveal of the second release of their Zanpakuto. I mean, who doesn't want to see a sword that sinks into the ground and creates multiple giant swords, which then dissipate into cherry blossom-like constructs that can essentially shred anything and anyone. We end up seeing a wide variety of Shinigami utilize several different unique Bankai throughout the series. The Bankai transformation has become an iconic concept within shonen manga, earning multiple references and homages from other media during Bleach's long run and beyond. Kubo is well aware of the mass appeal of the Bankai transformation, and it's for this reason that he saves certain characters' Bankais for specific moments when their reveals will generate the most excitement. He even ends chapters right as the characters say Bankai, proving that he is well aware of how much his readers are drawn to new Bankai reveals, and he uses them as a hook to keep readers coming back. However, despite Kubo's intentions to reveal some Bankai at the right moments, things didn't always go as planned. His failing health and other challenges that he was going through had led him to skip over some details within the manga, as well as some Bankai reveals which weren't included but were later revealed within the Can't Fear Unworld light novels. But despite this, we are still left with some unanswered questions, because there are several unrevealed Bankai that we have yet to see. Now, there is hope for them to be revealed in the future, thanks to Kubo teasing an all-new story arc via the New Breeds from Hell one-shot chapter, and Kubo has already expressed his desire to reveal these Bankai that I'll be talking about in this video if he can find a suitable medium, which fans will be happy with. But until the time comes where these Bankai are revealed either in manga or anime form, here are all of the Bankai that have yet to be revealed within the story of Bleach. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video so that you know every single Shinigami's Bankai that we have yet to see. Before the video begins, only 12% of the people who watch my content are subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy these videos, then subscribe and stick around for more content just like this. Now let's get back to the topic of the video. Now we're going to start with the Bankai that many of us might not expect to see, which is Love Aikawa's Bankai. He's a Vizard introduced fairly early in the story, and although he had received less attention than Vizards like Kensei and Rose, he's still a unique character within the lore of Bleach. The first and most notable reason is that Love is a former captain. This not only confirms that he does have a Bankai, but it also raises many questions about what it might be, because the difference between a lieutenant's and a captain's Bankai is significant. Love's Bankai would undoubtedly be a notable power, but it's unfortunate that we don't get to see it. His Hazambakto Tenjumaru transforms into a massive metal club upon Shikai activation. Now at this point, I typically explain what a Shikai does and make some speculations about its possible Bankai, but we don't even have that information for Love. Besides him being able to light up his Zanpakuto in flames in order to enhance his destructive power, we don't know anything more about his Shikai abilities. While Love might not be everyone's favorite character, I still hope that we'll get to see his Bankai in some way during the Hell arc of Bleach. When it comes to unrevealed Bankai, few can match the mystery surrounding this 9th character, mainly because of his integral role within the story and his connection to Ichigo Kurosaki. This character is none other than Isshin Kurosaki, Ichigo's lovable and goofy father who adopts a more serious demeanor when the story or Ichigo requires it. His role as the former captain of the 10th Division raises even more questions about his Bankai capabilities. As a notable descendant of the Shiba clan, Ishin is an accomplished Shinigami with mastery over most if not all Shinigami combat arts. He is also quite powerful, as he was able to fight against Aizen in his Shinigami state to the point of exhaustion and even wound him when Aizen had entered his chrysalis form, and this was all without resorting to his Bankai. His Zanpakuto Engetsu has powerful fire-based abilities. With Engetsu's flames, Ishin can enhance the destructive capabilities of his sword slashes, and he is even able to merge his flames with a Getsuga Tensho, creating a short-ranged, energy-imbued slash capable of harming even transcendent beings like Aizen. He possesses a powerful Shikai, and I believe that we should have at least been able to see his Bankai. All we know about Ishin's Bankai is that it significantly drains his stamina, preventing him from using it when injured or exhausted. This fact fact makes us wonder how his Bankai functions. Is it as powerful as Yamamoto's Bankai? Does it manifest a completely different outfit like Ichigo's Bankai? Imagining the possibilities is very entertaining, and I hope that this is a Bankai that is revealed to us at some point in the future. Now the next unrevealed Bankai is a rather intriguing one, and it's Yuri Ichi's Bankai. The other unrevealed Bankai on this list can mostly be attributed to a lack of opportunity or proper reasoning, and even because of the challenges that Kubo had faced during Bleach's final years of serialization, so it's easy to understand why these unrevealed Bankai weren't showcased. However, when it comes to Yoruichi Shihoin's Bankai, it's a mystery for an entirely different reason. Yoruichi doesn't even show us her Hazambakto, let alone her Bankai, and this is because she prefers not to use it. That's right, a former captain and character with a significant fan following simply chooses not to fight with her Hazambakto because it doesn't suit her style. She mainly prefers hand-to-hand combat over using her sword. Now in Yoruichi's opinion, the fist will always be mightier than the sword. As a highly skilled fighter, her preference for fighting barehanded has never hindered her ability to defeat opponents foolish enough to challenge her. She is one of the few users of Shunko within the Bleach story, and she has mastered it very well. She can even enter a mysterious wild state which is referred to as the Goddess of Thunder form. However, Hazambakto's powers remain a complete mystery, which raises questions about its capabilities and why Yoruichi dislikes using it. It is even stated within the Can't Fear on World light novels that she has a daily routine of appeasing her Zanpakuto due to her infrequent usage. Now this raises the question whether if her powers are too weak or inconvenient to use, similar to Shunsui and Shinji's Bankai, or is her Zanpakuto similar to Soifon's, where upon activation of her Bankai, a cumbersome missile launcher appears over her arm, which is counterintuitive because of Soifon's preference for stealth, covert, subtle styles of combat. So it may well be that Yoruichi Zanpakuto possesses a genuinely powerful ability, but she feels that it is incompatible with her preferred fighting style. Now either scenario presents us an exciting possibility, and it could make for a great story concept in the future. So once again, is Kubo going to include this in the Hell arc? Most likely not, so I wouldn't get my hopes up too high on it. I think when he gets around to speaking about Yoruichi and Urahara's backstory, we may get to learn a bit more about why Yoruichi doesn't like using her Zanpakuto. Now the 7th pick for our unrevealed Bankai list is likely a contributing factor to the mixed feelings that many fans had about the 1000-Year Blood War arc. The 7th pick for unrevealed Bankai is none other than the Grain Queen herself, Kiryohikifune. The Zero Division had been hinted at since Bleach's first arc, and during the 1000-Year Blood War arc we finally get to see them. Their introduction is anything but subtle. One of the members of the Zero Division claims to possess more power than the entirety of the Gotei 13 combined. This really is a mind-blowing statement, especially when you take into account the formidable abilities of the Gotei 13. However, after setting the Zero Division on such a high pedestal, they ultimately had struggled to meet the expectations of fans, especially in regards to their powers and capabilities. Now while some members, particularly Ichibe and Nimaya to some extent, had lived up to our expectations, the other 3 members of the Zero Division, which include Kiryohikifune, had some rather underwhelming performances. Hikifune was introduced as the creator of the Mod Soul, which is a concept that has been a part of the Bleach story for a long time, and it's a concept that underpins Ichigo's ability to perform his daily Soul Reaper duties, thus making it a significant revelation that she had invented the Mod Soul. Her ability to strengthen spiritual energy through her cooking added to her intrigue. Now when you also consider her ability to create life wood, you have a truly captivating character. At least that's what she could have been if Kubo had fully explored her potential. Unfortunately, we don't get to see if her ability to create wood is connected to her Zanpakuto's power. While it's interesting that she can fight with a giant spoon and appeals to 2 different types of fans because of the changes that she undergoes in her physical appearance, as well as her introduction as a member of a group that was meant to surpass the Gotei 13 in power. In the end, all of these incredible points build us up to absolutely nothing, which is just a disappointment. We never get to see the giant spoon that she carries do anything, and she's defeated off screen. So not only is her Bankai a massive mystery, but her Zanpakuto itself is entirely unknown. Now this situation is so disappointing on multiple levels that it probably deserves its own video. Unsurprisingly, the next unrevealed Bankai belongs to another member of Squad Zero, and it's the lightning fast Tenjiro Karingji. He is another absolute oddball who unsurprisingly makes it into the Zero Division. Perhaps the real requirement for becoming a member of Squad Zero is just being a complete eccentric, because aside from that he doesn't seem to bring much else to the table. He's implied to be the creator of Kaido, and apparently he had taught Unohana everything that she knows about healing. It's even seemingly implied that he is stronger than Unohana, given how he talks down to her, and we know just how powerful she is. Now this places an immense amount of fan expectation onto Karingji's shoulders, and there's nothing wrong with us expecting that much at least. So it's all the more disappointing that he doesn't show off anything beyond his hot water. That's right, all he had to show for his position as a member of the Zero Division was some hot springs. I know I'm being rather reductive with his powers, but for a character who meant so much to the story, we don't even know what his Zanpakuto Kinpika is able to do. And the worst part is that unlike the other members of the Zero Division, he actually had released his Zanpakuto, but unfortunately we're not shown what it can do, let alone his Bankai reveal. It's unfortunate that this video is becoming a rant on the Zero Division, but I feel very passionate about how uneventful their entire role was during the 1000-Year Blood War arc. And there's no surprises with the 5th pick on this list, which is yet again another member of the Zero Division, the creator of the Shinigami Shihakusho, the 1000-armed Senjumaru. She's another incredibly powerful member of Squad Zero, whose Zanpakuto powers are more of a mystery than they are completely unknown. The main reason for saying this is the fact that we are at least shown a Zanpakuto in its release state. Much like Kiryo and Karingji's, we are made aware of a Shikai, but it isn't properly showcased, nor is there a statement revealing what it does. It's just implied that its Shikai ability allows her to sew really fast, which I guess is a fantastic ability to have when your job is making uniforms for hundreds of thousands to possibly millions of Shinigami who get them slashed up and tattered in fights all of the time. But we don't get to see much more beyond that, and a Bankai could also be an incredibly powerful ability, but unfortunately it remains unrevealed. So the number 4 unrevealed Bankai on the list is yet another Zero Division Zanpakuto, and one that I am not as disappointed about, but mostly just sad that we didn't get to see more of this individual's power. I am of course talking about none other than the number 1 Zanpakuto creator, Owatsu Nimaya. He's a character who, unlike the others, had showcased his powers in a fairly impressive manner. With the power of Sayafushi, he swiftly kills every single member of Yhwach's elite guard, the Schutzstaffel. This wasn't just a testament to his speed and strength, but it had also showcased his mastery of the sword and how deadly Sayafushi was. So for all intents and purposes, Nimaya proved his worth as a member of the Zero Division, but I and many others have wanted to see more of his power. He speaks of Sayafushi as though it were one of the many blades that he had forged that he didn't have much use for. This implies that he had many other Zanpakuto lying around that he could have used. It was even revealed within the Can't Fear on-world light novels that he was responsible for forging Ikko Mikidomo into a Zanpakuto. Now this makes him one of the most versatile fighters in the entire story. It raises the question of whether if any of these blades possess their own Shikai and Bankai, and it raises an even greater question if in fact Nimaya possesses a personal Zanpakuto that is bound to his own soul, and does that Zanpakuto have its own Shikai and Bankai? These of course are questions that we don't know the answer to. So in Nimaya's case, he completely cements himself as a worthy member of the Zero Division in my opinion, but the sheer amount of mystery surrounding the Zanpakuto in his possession and what he can do with them is unbearable to say the least. And I hope that Kubo reveals to us some answers about his abilities in the future. The next pick for my unrevealed Bankai list continues to perplex me, to be honest. Really is hard to understand why we didn't get to see Ukitake's Bankai, which is such a significant letdown. He's a character that was introduced early on during the Soul Society arc, and he shares a brotherly bond with the now head captain Shunsui Kyoraku. It's almost amusing that Shunsui has multiple opportunities to showcase the power of his Zanpakuto, and we get to see its incredible capabilities, but outside of a brief skirmish with Coyote Stark, we know absolutely nothing about Ukitake's Zanpakuto, Sogyo no Kotowari. However, I won't dwell too much on Ukitake, since we have what I can call absolute confirmation that we'll at least get to see him do a bit more within the Bleach story during the Hell arc, which satisfies my desire that we will get to see his Bankai hopefully, as well as gaining a deeper understanding of his Shikai. It is all up to Kubo now whether if he wants to reveal these key details about Ukitake's power during the Hell arc. As fans, we just have to sit tight and wait patiently. Now we're on the second to last unrevealed Bankai, and it's undoubtedly one of the most intriguing on this list, and it ranks as the second most interesting in my opinion. I'm not going to waste much time and I'm going to dive right into it. I'm of course talking about Aizen's Bankai. Just what on earth is it? Does it even exist? Or is his Bankai truly Bleach's entire plot, which he had keikaku'd into existence? Aizen's Bankai remains one of the greatest mysteries in all of Bleach, and fans continue to speculate about its nature even to this day. The topic has become such a significant point of debate amongst the fandom that it seems to have generated a new perspective on the issue. Perhaps we're also fixated on asking what on earth Aizen's Bankai is that we've never considered if we should even know it in the first place. Fans argue that revealing his Bankai would strip away one of the most captivating aspects of Aizen's character, which is the air of mystery that continues to surround around him long after the end of Bleach's story. To some extent, I can agree with this viewpoint. However, I think that the contents of Schrodinger's box have remained hidden for long enough, and it's finally time for us to see what's inside. I think it's high time for Kubo to reveal whether if Aizen has a Bankai, and if he does, just what do its powers entail. I also want to use this segment of the video to announce an upcoming video series on the channel where I will be theorizing some of the unrevealed Bankai that I've spoken about on this list. I'll talk about multiple theories on what some of these Bankai could actually be, so definitely look forward to that video series. Now, if someone had told me that this particular Bankai would become the most significant mystery in all of Bleach, I would have never believed them. But here we are now with Ichigo Kurosaki's true Bankai Tensa Zangetsu, which remains as one of the biggest enigmas in all of Bleach. This is interesting because unlike the other Bankai on this list, we actually get to see his Bankai quite often. However, the catch is that this Bankai was first used against Yhwach. Upon sensing the threat that it had posed to him, he had gone into the future and had destroyed it before Ichigo even had a chance to use it. This sent fan speculation into overdrive, with some believing that it was merely a more powerful Getsuga Tensho shooter. Others think that this Bankai embodies Ichigo's deepest desires in its most abstract form, granting him the power to shatter fate itself. But all of these questions remain unanswered, as the next time we get to see Ichigo, he's completely drained of all of his powers and, in Yhwach's own words, is very much near to death. But the mystery doesn't just end there. During Ichigo's final encounter, a strange incident occurs. After Uryu successfully fires the still silver arrowhead and deactivates all of Yhwach's powers, Ichigo approaches Yhwach to deliver the finishing blow. As Yhwach begins to intercept the attack, the white outer casing of his Zanpakuto shatters, revealing a Zanpakuto resembling his original Shikai blade. Now, this Zanpakuto ultimately kills Yhwach, and this scene has sparked various interpretations amongst fans. So much so that I've even made a separate video on the channel where I explain what on earth happened to Ichigo's Zanpakuto here. Now, apart from Kubo's confusing explanation about Zangetsu's current state on his official fan club, we don't know much more about what on earth had happened with Ichigo's Zanpakuto at the end of Bleach. The fact that the main character's power is one of the greatest mysteries highlights some of the issues during Bleach's endgame, and it really pains me to even admit this. However, there does seem to be hope, as the anime adaptation of the 1000-year Blood War arc promises to expand upon the manga, so we can hold out some hope that this mystery will finally be unraveled when the anime gets around to adapting the final confrontation against Yhwach. So what did you think about these 10 unrevealed Bankai that I've spoken about? Like me, are you dying to find out the Bankai transformations of these iconic characters? I'd love to know all of your thoughts about these 10 unrevealed Bankai, so definitely continue the discussion in the comments. And lastly, thank you for making it to the end of this video, and I can't wait to see you in my next Bleach Explained video. If you enjoy my content, then you can support my channel through Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or even through YouTube by becoming a channel member. You will gain access to exclusive channel perks and a Discord server which I frequently use. So become a member of my Zero Division and be the first to know about my upcoming videos. And once again, thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.